Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? Back at it again. Have another great conversation. Appreciate all of you for continuing to tune in, continue to be a part of these discussions. Make sure that you get in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the different channels as we continue to go on this journey of having productive, informative, and funny conversations. We got some great topics for you today. First and foremost, appreciate all of you that have been continuing to support, been continuing to send me some of these topics too, man. Definitely appreciate that. As you guys send me some of these things, definitely are feeding them in, and hopefully we're able to get to some of them and more of them as time comes along. So, some great events that are coming up. Just went to a few of them as well. Um, Juneteenth is around the corner. We're definitely excited for that. Going to have a great time with Juneteenth. But before the highlight of Juneteenth, you have another opportunity to win some free comedy show tickets. OG Bobby Johnson is the winner of two of the tickets to the comedy show that is happening tomorrow night. Now you have an opportunity to win some as well tonight. So you get a chance to win some tickets. Shout out to OG Bobby Johnson for being a regular participant on the show and you winning tickets to the comedy show that is tomorrow night, put on by CMAC Productions. That's why it's going to be a great conversation that we're having tonight. Now, also, Juneteenth around the corner. Very important. 3-day celebration. Going to turn to 4-day. I'm going to get the rest of the information for Wednesday as it comes to me. As soon as it comes to me, I'm going to give it to you. So on June the 19th, on that 19th, we will have our Juneteenth brunch from 11 to 4 at Eclipse. That's going to be from 11 to 4 at Eclipse. Come on out. Going to be some music, some great food, being able to learn a bit of the history and stuff. Then that next Friday, we will be at the Jazz Spot from 7 to 10. We have a band. Come dressed to impress in your different African attire. We're going to have a prize for best dress, the whole nine that comes along with that as well. And then Saturday, we'll be at Patriots Park having a great time celebration. Again, music, fun game, bunch of vendors, some dance groups, the whole nine, some singing going on. So you're going to be able to come out, bring your lawn chairs, come hungry, bring out the kids. It's going to be hot. Make sure you stay hydrated. We will have free water available for everybody as well. We will have probably some water games and stuff for the kids, and some cooling spots for people to be able to cool down. So don't allow the heat to stop you from coming out. Don't allow the heat to stop you. So just come out, have a great time. Come chill with us. Come holler at us, man. As we go forward to have some fun, we want to make sure that you all are a part of a lot of the festivities that are going to be going on. And so please don't forget. Don't forget to come out, have fun, and have a good time. Now we're about to jump into these conversations here shortly. We'll be right back. Hey, what's happening, good people? What's happening, good people? Yes. Again, shout out to OG Bobby Johnson. Gonna make sure that he gets those tickets to the comedy show tomorrow. You get 2 tickets, bro. 2 tickets to the comedy show happening tomorrow night at Speakeasy 1933, put on by CMAP Productions. Yes, you got 2 retail. I'm gonna be in the house. We're gonna be up in the house. We're gonna be having a good time, getting a
I'll be
good
there.
laugh on. T gonna be up in the house as well. We're gonna have a good time, man. Listen, come on out. You haven't gotten your tickets yet. They are on Eventbrite as well. But you get to also win 2 tonight. So make sure you get up in them comments if you want to try and win some tickets. Say hello. Shout out to him, man. Listen, we're gonna have a good discussion tonight. We're gonna talk about a few things. One, BT Awards. Our thoughts on that, and then kind of some takes on a young lady and her husband talking about how you should choose a guy and all that type of stuff. Um, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But also, there was a situation where a couple had to make some financial decisions. It's
Mm.
kind of splitting the family. So we're
Mm.
gonna see what that's gonna be about as well.
Mm.
But go ahead, T, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Chi-Town cutie. I'm coming to you again with these topics, and Patrick and myself are looking forward to it. Tonight is going to be a very interesting night. We have some very interesting topics, and I cannot wait to dive in.
Let's go. What's
Let's
up,
go.
B? I see you. What's happening, man? Good
Hey
to see you. Good to
Brandon.
see you. Go ahead and drop in the comments that y'all coming in, man. We're gonna continue to highlight and show some of these things that are going on now. First thing is first, what was your thoughts on the BET award? Do you think it was a hit or a miss? And those
Oh,
of you that are watching, make sure you get in the comments. Tell us what was your thoughts on the BET award. Was it a hit or a miss? First thing first, hit or miss? If BET award, was it hot or was it not?
it was hot.
Okay,
It was
why?
a hit. It was a hit for me. I'm a
Okay.
90s baby. It reminded me of the 90s BET Awards. I lost interest, but this time I lost interest because it had gotten to the point where it was a little raunchy for me. But
Mm,
it was classy. It was classy. I like how they brought back
okay.
the like real talent. Like I want to see that. I want to see the talent that we came up on. It's nothing wrong with the newer talent, but I loved going back. I love Jamie Foxx, what he said. I was like, when he said that could have been me in
Could have been
memorial
me.
with
Hmm.
the other celebrities. Just
Yeah,
his whole speech,
yeah,
how he thanked his family. I mean, he was. You remember that love tour we talked about?
yeah,
Then I watched that. I was like, okay, he's on a real love tour.
yeah.
Like you could tell he's gonna make some changes, some big changes. I loved it. I loved Kevin Hart. I thought he did a great job as the host.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the BET Awards this year.
Now I
I
heard
did.
that he was part of the executive producer of the BET Awards. I think too with I have those same sentiments of it being kind of just taking it to that next level, or taking it back to where it used to be, kind of more, a little bit more class to it, a little bit more um, of a higher echelon where people could be more respectable. And they chose a lot of people that had hits. You know what I mean? And you slid
Right.
in a couple of them, but majority of the time they were using a lot of the newer artists and stuff like that. But I think the blend of that kind of helped it a lot.
It was
The blend
perfect.
of it. I think they did a really good job of blending it, showing, having a showcase of something that wasn't, like how you said, a little bit more ratchet than what most people that would tune in were looking for. I think that's where the disconnect was happening with some people, and I think Kevin Hart, being one of the executive producers, definitely did his thing. He definitely did his thing on that. He definitely
He
did his
did.
thing. Yeah, I
He did.
couldn't be more critical of the decisions that they made to kind of put it put it to where you know they had the funny parts, they had the class parts, they had um the red carpet was great, the interviews was great, the transitions, everything kind of went really well to where it was nothing that was crazy off the wall. And
Right.
then nothing that was like crazy boring either. Like, it was really
No.
entertaining the whole time, all throughout. Uh, there was a controversial thing that happened that I think is has gone viral,
What?
which is that it just came to my mind. I know it wasn't part of the conversation, but the Gorilla winning the Gospel Award. Uh, she won the Gospel Award.
Mm.
She's a those who don't know that's tuning in, Gorilla. She's a bit of a city girl type rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said a lot of raunchy type music. She even said in her acceptance speech that she wasn't expecting. She did a gospel song with Kirk Franklin, which is a pretty good
Okay.
song. And there had
Yeah.
been people in the church world, in the gospel community, that it was a lot of backlash about it. Like, you got all these like real gospel artists that actually do gospel, um, and you're giving this award to someone that really don't do gospel music, right? And so, you know, there was a lot of opinions and thoughts on her being that type of artist, winning such an award, when it comes to the gospel artists and the gospel industry.
Mm-hmm. But she was on it with Kirk Franklin, who is a gospel artist, correct?
Yeah, huh? Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
his award; it was her award.
Yeah. Well, I think that because Kirk Franklin was with her, or the album was the both of them in a collaboration, I don't see
Mm-hmm.
a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes unfortunately, I don't want to say this. I don't want to have to say this, but I will.
Yeah.
That community sometimes is very critical for it to be the type of community that it is. I would expect that community would be a lot more loving, because that
Mm-hmm.
community should be, their walk is closer to God,
Mm-hmm.
in their eyes a lot of the times. And I think that they should
Right.
sometimes be more, uh, I think they should show us the way a lot more by, not being so critical of everything that they deem is not on their particular walk. You're not good at. That's why so many young people are not going to churches, or not, because they don't feel comfortable. It's like, I don't know that didn't Snoop Dogg make a gospel? Didn't he do
He did.
something in the?
He did.
I don't recall hearing this.
Yeah, he
Maybe
did.
I just didn't hear any backlash.
Well, I
But
think I don't think the backlash is about her doing a song. The
it's
backlash
because she
was
won.
the backlash is more of the prestigiousness of the award, of what that
Right.
means, and what that um like of for a gospel artist, right? Because she doesn't deem herself a gospel artist at all. Um she was even saying it herself, and so it was, and she was talking about she was nominated a few times for other awards, right? But this was her actual first BET award, which is a gospel award.
Which is gospel award. That's odd. But I have not done the research, but BET is kind of open. They just look at talent, really, because they've given awards to non-Black artists. So, like, I think Robin Thicke
I think they were
may
talking
have,
about like more of the category, right? So
yeah.
it's like okay, the pushback that I'm seeing, that people are, the lens that they're looking through is like, oh, a person did a song, right? They did a song. It was a good song. But then you have these other people that have been doing that actually, that's an artist in this area. So if a person don't really consider themselves an artist in this area, you know, it's kind of for the
I know
people that's
exactly
in
what
that
you're
industry, it's like, well, we're in this particular genre for real, not for just a moment.
saying. So even
Like,
though
not
she made a better song than the rest, because they have a judging panel and everything, and they probably had an opportunity to select someone in the gospel community, but her song happened to be the best. I mean, was there cursing? Was it anything similar to what we know of Glorilla? I haven't heard the song, but Was
Well,
it
right, and
comparable to a gospel song that would have been in the category in the running?
probably not from the community, right? Like if you're saying it from a community standpoint, then probably not. So like it's like if you're having other artists that would judge, right? It's like if we go into that space, if you have
Mhm.
other R&B artists judge other R&B artists, say, you know, you think that this is, or you have other rap artists say, you think that this person is deserving of, you know, to even be in the category. You would have people that would list different artists, right? Um, that is in the space. And so I think that's kind of where some of the prejudgment would come
Yeah.
from. It's like, well, this person, if I'm not really an R&B singer, and then I go and just do a song, and it was a good song, but it wasn't a hit to where those other artists would respect me in that space.
And you know what's terrible about that? What if she was up one night because she was going through it and she was talking to God and she decided to write that
Mhm.
song?
Oh
What if
yeah,
she had a diagnosis or somebody in her family and it really came from the heart?
right.
And she happened to write that song, call Kirk Franklin, who she knows a heck of a
That's not
great
what happened.
producer.
That's not what
That,
happened.
okay, I don't know. I'm just saying, what
No,
if?
but
And
she
then,
did say she had the song for some years. Like she had the song. It was a song that she wrote it from the heart, definitely.
right,
But it was a song she had for years. So it was a song that she wrote from the heart, but she had it for years.
yeah.
So it could
So
have
who are we
been,
to judge
yeah,
that? You know,
yeah. But you know, every
it could be
award
bringing
system
her
has their
closer
own.
to God, right? Yeah.
Uh,
One more.
maybe.
The other thing I was thinking, I know. The other thing I was thinking, because I am thinking of another song, and that was so far away from anything holy, but it's got a good beat. So what about rappers who become actors and win Oscars or nominated? Do you think actors think the same thing about musicians and rappers who become
Yeah,
actors?
they've said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of them is not based off because they're in the space based off of their popularity, right? But they're not really winning awards like that. They're not going in and they're not like you don't really see artists that haven't mastered the craft and win an award. Like what artists have gone in and have done it and like won these prestigious awards just off of their popularity. Because the only people that
Exactly.
are like actors and that are singers and stuff would be like Jamie Foxx, but he was more of an actor comedian before he was even a singer.
Yeah.
But he's proven to be a phenomenal actor, right? Like over time. And then you'll have a guy like Kevin Hart who's a comedian. But though the comedian world and the acting world is kind of a tandem
Hmm.
when it comes to
Will
them being
Smith.
able to know script.
Will Smith started off as a singer rapper and became a phenomenal actor. I think he started off Fresh Prince was his first. No, that
Yeah,
wasn't his first. He did that film. He did a film before
he did
Fresh
a
Prince.
small film before that, yeah,
Yeah, but he
before
started
doing
off
the
as
TV show.
a singer rapper. But I'm sorry that Glow feels like she has to apologize
Now, I don't
for
think she
going
apologized.
out or feeling bad. She
I
has
don't
to
even know
say,
if she feel
hey.
bad. I think it's just the people that got their opinion. I don't think she care about what
Yeah.
other people saying.
But I think whenever we as a people say, well, we soften it when we say, yeah, there were so many other great people in this category. I don't know why they would choose me. This is not even my genre. That's to kind of
Mhm.
soften it to make everybody kind of feel better about it. Instead of just
Uh-huh.
saying, hey, I wrote this years ago. I was feeling this type of way. And I decided to bring it out now because the world needs it. So
Mm.
I hope that they decide to I, I hope they look at themselves. This is not the first time that community has gone crazy whenever anybody outside the community comes in
Mhm.
and gets something that they deem is theirs.
Yeah,
That's
and
just
I,
my
I
two
see I see
cents.
I see both sides of the coin because
Yeah.
when you're in a space and you're like it's what you do, and then the person is coming in almost like for a moment, like it's not a serious space for them, right? Like it's not something that they're doing day in and day out, that they're just coming in and doing it for a moment. Like, oh, it's just something that I want to do, right? People respect it differently. Like you're using your talent and your popularity not based off of maybe the ministry that other people would view it in. Like people that are really out here they're doing it day in and day out. And it will be, if you're not really serious, it's like other people, like even in sports and stuff, people don't take maybe their talents and stuff seriously, and then they're coming in and they're just, they're using it for a moment. People, the respect level of your peers is going to be lower because the work that you're doing in that space you're not putting forth the best effort. So it becomes a little bit more problem for, your counterparts. You want to kind of get the respect of your counterparts too, if you're in a space, because now it's like, man, you don't really take this real seriously. And then the thing that you're not taking seriously, somebody else gets an award for, right? Like it kind of maybe burn you a little bit. Like,
it's
man,
like slap in the face.
Yeah, I'm putting in work over here. Like, this is not a game for me. This is something
it's
that
not
I
a game
do.
for her either. Yeah.
Well,
that's why everybody should just mind your business and just move forward.
Awards, it seems like it matters to people. It's a weird thing, but it seems like awards really matter to people.
Yeah.
Like being recognized for what they do and all that type of stuff. Because they know in their world, like they can't go over to her category. You know what I mean? Like there's no way for them to go over to her category.
How? I mean, why? Who said they can?
The way that the genres are set up. They put you in a genre in a space, right? Like if you would have to go and become counter of who you are in order to go over there.
Couldn't they have somebody like a Glorilla on one of their albums? I've heard secular gospel music and it's real good. It sounds great. I'm just saying they could put somebody on one of their albums.
Did you just hear what you said? You heard what?
I've heard gospel music. By that I mean, and by secular I mean music that you don't really you think it should be in one category. I've heard gospel artists write songs that pass over one genre and go into more of a, like, when people say they don't listen to secular music. I've heard gospel songs that are like secular music.
But are they secular music? Is it secular music?
It's still considered gospel, but they play it in places that you would think, why is this song playing? I'm thinking of something now. They did a movie on the sisters. I cannot think of. It really doesn't matter. God can always solve them. Burning up your day until it comes your way. So, you brought the sunlight in my life. They made that to kind of go outside of the gospel genre into sort of a R&B type of secular area. I cannot think of the name. That's what I'm thinking of. I got to think of it. Somebody probably knows.
That's a gospel artist that's singing.
It's a family of women, and I cannot think of their names right now. It just escaped me. They did a documentary on them. Let me see.
The Clark sisters?
Yes, the Clark sisters. The Clark sisters, led by their mother, they were having an issue. They were having the same problem. They started writing more songs that would reach us. So reach people who weren't specifically listening to only gospel music. When they stepped out of their genre a little bit and started making sort of, and when I say secular, I mean music that would play on the radio, that would get radio spins. When they started,
so what genre was it going in? Was it going into R&B? Was it going? So they were just doing more positive pop music. It was more.
They were doing sort of like gospel pop, sort of like that. And
Okay.
I could be wrong at what the label is, but they stepped out a little bit and they really got popular based off of that. So what I'm saying is you can step out.
But
You may
that
not.
wasn't really stepping out though. That you're just using. It's like them. It was the same way when Kirk Franklin and stuff came out. Like he's still using, but it's not him stepping out though. It's him using. He still use his music is still in the gospel label. It's just using hip hop beats or hip hop culture. Like if you want to do a reggae type gospel song, right? You're still not singing reggae. They're still gonna put you in
he's not gonna
reggae gospel.
He's not gonna join like one of the. Of course, they're not gonna join a label that's rap and R&B.
No, it's not even a label. It's still you're in the category. You're still like if they start doing reggae gospel, they're gonna be put in gospel. They won't be put in the reggae category.
And they're upset with her because she jumped a category and she was
in
gospel.
So they didn't award her in the rap category for her
gospel song.
Right. So she's over here in this category. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't put them. They didn't put like Kirk Franklin over there in the rap category or the soul category, or he was still in the gospel category. He wasn't in the hip hop category.
Why am I thinking the Clark sisters did that they won something outside their category? I have to dig real far back. Always gospel.
Yeah,
for some reason I'm thinking one of those songs crossed over.
The sound of the beats and stuff were crossovers. So it was like I was saying, like even like a Kirk Franklin, or even like now, there's some great artists that I listen to. I listen to mostly gospel music, and so I listen to gospel R&B type music. So there's gospel artists that use like the R&B beats. They'll use but they're gospel songs, and so but they're still in the gospel category, although they're using like a Babyface beat or a Chris Brown type beat to their music. You know, they're still in that boom. They're right there in that category right there. It kind of sticks from there. And yeah, that's kind of the hard part of that conversation of, you know, I think it could have been approached differently though, you know, of the way that people are attacking it. It's not like she was asking for it, you know, they gave it to her, right? Like, you know, she didn't you throwing it at her, you know, the industry was the ones that awarded her with it. So, you know, you got to go and blame them, right? They don't want that's giving out the awards. So,
and she's, like you said, she's popular right now. So
yeah, she's definitely popping. She's popping big time. She is she's popping big time, like majorly big. That most people don't like. Of course, you know, that's where the respect level of who she is and her as a young lady makes a huge difference.
Right.
You know, it makes a huge difference on the conversation that some people have and others don't. And so you just can't blame her for her. You can't blame her for her greatness. You know, she's not the fault of her receiving the award. But again, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section. We're gonna go on to this attractiveness thing, right? Like this woman talking about she's not says she's not attracted to her husband. Now this is an interesting conversation. Now this is gonna be interesting. Let me see. Here we go. Let's go here. Now let's see what she got to say real quick now. Boom. We're gonna play a portion of it, then we're gonna talk about it. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Clarence and Queen, but it's genuinely true. Like, you cannot date your type. If you are constantly dating your type and it ain't working out, girl, check them DMs. Look at his picture. If it's like, that's the one. I'm telling you, baby. And I met my
so she's saying that her husband isn't her type. So she's encouraging young ladies or women in general to date men that are not necessarily their type. Now, what's your thoughts on this, T?
I agree with her. I remember our last show, me telling the young women to step outside your comfort zone. Look at those, open up your booklets and look at those guys that you've put in the friend zone. Your husband's in there. He's in there. He's trying to get out.
He's trying to get out. He's
trying to get out. Let me out. Just go on a date. Every woman has just a friend, a person that, you take them around. They're always with you. And people say, oh, you two look so good together. No, he's just a friend. Oh, he's just a friend. Go on a date with that guy. Whoever that guy is, just call him up and say, hey, let's go to the movies. Take him on a date, huh? Take him on a date. Talk. And really talk to him. You might end up finding your husband. It's very true. Very, very true.
So that's your thought, that you feel like that a person, if they actually just give it a chance, then they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
What are women, I guess, looking at when they're saying like, oh, this person is typically, when they're saying not their type or they're friends on somebody? What have you seen where a person has kind of put people in these categories?
So for me, I don't really have a type. It's more like a vibe. So I think like the older I've gotten, it would be like a vibe where, you recognize like, oh, okay, that person, that's a cool person. I think back when I was growing up, the girls loved the light-skinned boys with light eyes. Like if you were light-skinned, there was a time when you was light-skinned. I think it was like a little before the 90s. Women loved them. That's what I saw growing up. I don't know. That's so interesting. I don't think I've ever asked someone, what is your type when dating? I don't think I've asked it. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Like if I was dating or I was looking, it's not a type, because like sometimes different things are attractive to me. It could be because I'm older, but it's more like a vibe. Yeah.
So those women that are looking over people, do you think that they're missing out on or passing up a whole bunch of opportunities that they move through life?
I think so. I think my thought is that's it's been a long day. So usually when you are, okay, this is my psychology. I think the only reason women are passing up good men is because they're chasing after terrible men, or men that are not good for them, or men that just don't like them. Because if you're chasing him and he's chasing her, who's chasing you?
Who's chasing you?
Who's chasing you? And if you actually turn around, there's that guy who's your friend, who you always call when the guy that you wanted dogged you out. It's a guy you always call. It's a guy that always says, how you doing? Or, man, why would he do that to you? Or you could talk to me.
Right.
And you're ignoring him because you have your eyes set on something else.
You got your eyes glued.
It's glued to that. And you can continue to do that for the rest of your life. But, life is short.
Yeah, it's way too short.
It's way too short.
Way too short.
I just found out that a friend from college passed away this morning. A really good friend of mine. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So life is short, guys. And, go for the person who's going for you. That's all I have to say. And it. When you're wasting your time. You can continue to waste your time for the rest of your life.
Man.
and he ends up alone.
Man.
And that's terrible.
The hard part of realizing that, man, I'm in that category. That's the hard part.
Right.
Like that some people may not realize. Like, yo, I'm in this category of, man, is the type of guy that I'm wanting aren't available anymore. And I've passed up on a lot of the guys that probably could have been great guys. Or you have people that have ended relationship or ended marriages, thinking that the grass was greener on the other side and found out it was AfroTurf, you know.
Yeah. That's the worst part. You can't even water it because it's fake.
It's
can't even make
fake,
it grow back. Can't put fertilizer on it.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You find out that, you know, it's
Can't
not
do
what
nothing
you thought
for it.
or what you assumed that it would be, and you put yourself in this crazy category, in this box that you are now unable to get yourself out of. And you will see that time and time again, moving forward with multiple relationships. It's like, you know, you think you're gonna have fun when you're crazy young, you know, you go through your, you know, young stage, you know, young and having fun, and then boom, you done popped out a few babies, and then going into your 30s, maybe pop out another one, and then, you know, by the time you're in your 40s and going into your 50s and stuff, then it's like, oh, maybe I should be trying to settle down. But then now, how do you turn that thing around? You know,
I don't know. And unless you've been keeping yourself up and you're able to compete with the younger girls, it's gonna be harder for you.
No, ain't no competing.
Ain't no competing. What do you mean by that?
At that point, is no competition. At that point, it's not a compete. Once you didn't have kids, and then now you're older, there is no competition at that point.
What do you mean by that? There is, like, in a good way, like there is no competition. I'm that girl.
Like the younger girls ain't that. Yeah, they're not concerned about the older chick. She's no competition.
But the older men are.
The older men ain't looking at the older women. There's no competition. They don't even want them.
Right. They're looking at the younger women.
Yeah, what I'm saying. So I'm saying the younger girls have no competition. Those older women isn't their competition. Because they're not competing. They have no space to compete with them.
We're saying the same thing, but we're flipping it a little bit. I think if an older woman, so let's say if I was not married and I go back, I'm in the street. Now I hate saying in the streets because that's so negative. I'm available to date. Right. I'm not dating just to date. I'm dating to find a husband. And that's just me. That's just who I am as a woman. So if there are other women like me, I think that the older men are looking for, and it's just biology. I think a lot has to do with like biology. You look for more younger, more fertile women, although they may not be competing with me. They are the ones that are being picked. They're in the pickings. There was a time when I was in the picking. Now, as you get older as a woman, you are not. They are not checking for you. And I think a lot of people need to realize that the older you get, the less certain men that you may be looking for on the levels you're looking for may not be checking for you. So you have to make sure that you are leveling up or leveling to where those men are and being in those environments where you're going to be in environments where they are choosing younger women.
What is leveling up?
Or at least women who can hang with them. Women who don't have as many responsibilities.
What is leveling up?
Depending on what where your levels are. You know, some women they've reached everything they could. They've done everything they could in terms of their careers. They have their families. They may have been married once. They might have said, I'm not doing that again. Now I'm out here. You get out there and you find out that the men are not looking for wives. Some of them are looking for a good time. Some
What
of them
is
don't want to
leveling
get
up?
married.
What is I'm
Leveling up.
asking that? Yeah, I'm asking that specifically.
Oh,
You
it's
said
always
women should
becoming,
be able to level up. That's what. Where is
yeah,
that at? Like, how are they able to level up?
becoming your best self. Becoming your
You're
best self.
already your best self. Your best self is behind you.
Your best self is always right there. There's always something more you can do. There's
Yeah, but
always
not on the
growth.
dating market. Not on the dating market. Like for yourself, yes, but not for the men that you're trying to attract, right? Like the benefits in which you come to the table with is different than whatever you're saying, like growth wise. So we're giving a comparison, whatever you're saying. We're saying you use the word competition. So if the competition is saying, okay, you got kids, you got, you're older, this and that, and the biology and stuff like that, how is that now beneficial to a guy?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you're saying
I'm not even out there.
No, but you're saying two different things. I'm saying you're saying competition, but I'm saying that because you're using the word competition, and then you're saying you're saying the woman is able to level up. I'm saying there's nothing she could do to necessarily level up. There is no level up.
Yes, it is. There's always something that a woman can do to level up. But let me say this. Okay. I'm not saying the women are competing against each other, because there are some older women.
They are.
I don't know that. I don't know for sure. So I can't say that. You can, maybe because you're a man. I can't say that because I'm not paying attention. So let's just, because I'm married, so I'm not really paying attention.
Well, you got friends, people that's in the dating market. Like dating is a competition. Let's break it down to its simplest form. Dating is a competition. So that,
but you just said it's not. You just said that.
No, I said those women aren't able to compete. So like if I'm a basketball player, I play basketball. Me and Bobby, we play basketball and stuff together. Mm-hmm. Me playing basketball, I'm not saying I can compete with LeBron James. I'm unable to compete. I'm not nowhere on his level. I'm nowhere on their type of level. So there's not a competition at that point. Am I able to go and compete and say I'm competing? Yeah, I can go out there and play basketball, but am I really competing?
Okay. Okay, let's break this down. That's true. Let's break this down a little bit further. Are you saying that the young women are not able to compete with older women? And by older, let's just say 45 to 55.
No, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying we're saying opposite of that. I'm saying the older women are unable to compete with the younger women.
I disagree.
So let me give the comparison.
Yes.
You now could not compete with the younger you.
The younger me was mad and the older me is
the younger
better.
You is in a whole different ball game of attractiveness and availability and vulnerability, having gone through much, right? The younger you is more desired, right? The younger you is more desired.
The older me is more desired. I'm more desired the older I've gotten. The younger me was cute. The older me who knows myself.
When you say desired,
can run circles around a younger person. That's why God put me in a position where I was married, where I'm married. There are some older women, and you asked me about me and the people I know. Now you might have to ask somebody else. That's right, okay. OG, introduce yourself to me tomorrow, because I don't think I've ever met you in person. He said in 89. Give me a compliment. Let me tell you, Patrick. There are some women, if we date, everyone is looking for fun both ways. That's true. There are some older women who can run circles around some younger women. That is what I meant by leveling up. They stay in the gym. They're not smoking. They're not drinking. They're okay. I don't know. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this. You cannot tell me that if Tony walked away tomorrow, there wouldn't be 30-year-olds to 55, 60, 70 sons and their daddies calling me. And I'm not even talking just, I'm taking me out because I'm not even in this. There are some women I know, a lot of women that I know that will run circles around some of these girls, young women who are really just trying to still figure it all out. There are some women who have it all figured
And
out.
the guys don't want those women.
What guys don't want those women? They have guys. They have guys.
No, I guess we have to ask two different questions. We're talking.
They don't want those guys. They don't want the guys that don't want those women. They're not checking for those guys. They're not checking. They're not chasing after guys who not chasing after them. They're too old for that. They don't have time to wait.
Well, I think we're saying when we're going mainstream, right? If we're going mainstream, the average woman, 18, mom, or whatever, that's single. Mm-hmm. The guys aren't there. There's not enough guys available. Out of the 10 women that got guys, it's another 100 that don't. And they don't, and that they couldn't point to you where the guy is at that they would even that could come into their sphere to even date. They couldn't point them out. Mm-hmm. That's the hard part. That's been the hard part when the mainstream women that are looking for guys, the women that are educated, women that have things going for themselves, that has been some of the hard conversation with colleagues, friends, and stuff like that. It's finding the guys that are available,
looking for the same thing.
Guys that are in the same space that they would want to be in. And the truth of it is that we can't deny statistics and data, right? If we're claiming that Black women is the most educated group of all groups, no matter what race, right? If they have leveled up to a certain echelon, that means they're there by themselves. That means if you're the fastest and biggest growing group statistically, if we're talking about data wise, that means you're there by yourself. If you're looking for a match in a mutual, so that means
community. Right.
No, they said in general. No, Black women in general across all races.
Oh wow.
Yes, are the most educated. So if they're trying to find a match, they are unable to. That's why all of these dating shows and conversations are so hot, because all of those women that are looking for those guys, they can't find them. They want the guy with the equalness, right? And they're not available. Because if you have, and it makes sense, if you're in that category of women that are a part of this group that have shot up, is just basic economics, supply and demand, right? Mm-hmm. It's a whole bunch of supply. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're the demand, but the supply is low.
It's low, right? So they'd have to go down a bit in education. But what about money? There are some ethnicities and ethnic groups that may not have a high education because they didn't finish college, because they're entrepreneurs, but they have more money than the men who you are seeking in your own culture.
That's across the board.
The men you might, yeah.
But that's across the board too. Like the concept of that all these guys is making $150,000 a year is absurd. Like they're talking about six figures, all this other stuff. That's the conversation, right? This is a desire of most women. So when a very small percentage of people across the board make that money, this is why the Kevin Samuels, the Kendra D, all these people got these shows from women seeking this. And if every woman is seeking that, and only 5% of men across the board, 10% is in the 100,000 category, then you're talking about the 1%ers, right? If that's a small percentage of men that's available in that category. No, we're talking about across. And if you want a Black man, then that's you going way down, right? So the expectation level has to match. And if you have a so many amount of women going after a small amount of men, he's picking from the litter.
That's unfortunate because it's fear, so much fear in that, like that statement. And I know there's a lot of truth in it, but it's scary for women to hear. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't, I've gotten all this education. Now I can't find a man who's on my level. So I have to be in my town and look, and I can't find it. The problem there, get out of this town. Go to bigger places. Go to the big cities. There are men who have those things. They do. You have to get out of the small towns that you're in. There's so much more out in the world. Go overseas. I heard Italy was popular. Go overseas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid by these statistics. These statistics are not, forget the statistics. Don't be afraid.
You better listen.
It's scary. It's scary. If you don't find that
listen.
man that has the same education, his money is the same. His money is high. He got.
No, it's not.
We don't know. How do we know?
We do know. The numbers say it. The numbers say it. The data show that this is the reality. We have data based off of people that are in poverty. We have data based off of people that are wealthy. We have data based off of people that are when we call middle class and all this type of stuff. The data shows is what it is. We can't escape.
Education wise or money.
Both.
Money.
But we're doing both. So education wise, we're saying that Black women are extremely educated. Then money wise, we're saying 10% is in the category. And then we call the people that's the 1%ers, right? Which are the ones that are extremely wealthy, which is the one that people are seeking to be with. So if only 10% of the guys that are in this category, and you have a group of 30 to 40% of women trying to get that 5 to 10%, there's a lot of people that's left out. If everybody get matched up, you still got 20 to 30% of those women that will never find that match.
That's why you got to get out these small towns.
It has nothing to do with the time.
The percentages are higher. The percentages got to be higher than for 25 women to be chasing after 2 men.
That no matter where you go.
Yeah. Well, then the percentages are higher in a place like Chicago because it's larger. So you can't help but to have a higher percentage.
No, the women have flocked there. The women have flocked to those places, to Chicago, to Atlanta, to Miami, to New York. All of these places is where they have flocked to LA, right? Like all of these places is where they have flocked to, where there are more men with more money, which they'll see that the numbers just inflate of how many women to men that there are that they can choose from. So it's like you got to
take Atlanta out. You got to take Atlanta out if you're looking for it, because you're not being considered there. Regardless,
you might not want to stop.
You might want to not consider that. Just have fun. It's a really fun town. But
you might not want to consider it. Yeah, that might be what you might want to put on the back burner.
Yeah, just go there for fun.
That's where y'all go vacation.
Right. They definitely not checking for you in Atlanta.
No, don't do all the fellas out there. That's some good brothers out there. That's
even they'll tell you
with purpose. Good brothers out
there.
They'll tell you. Purpose. Good
come
brothers
here
out
with
there.
Your family. You got to come there with your families.
Bobby said, just because you're educated doesn't mean that you are automatically going to be wealthy. Yeah.
That's true.
I agree. He also said, I think a lot of people, no matter the age, looking for help and not love. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
See, that's why he wanted us to
you lie. He said she wanted to lie.
If you're good with money, you don't need a degree to compound it. That's what I'm saying. It's not about the degrees.
It don't have to be, but again, it goes back to okay, are we basing it off of the financial piece, or are we basing it off of character and all of the other pieces? Because if you're only going in based off of that, then your category gets a lot shorter. If you widen it up to where it's like, okay, money, being able to take care of yourself, have some responsibility, be able to making some money, that's one thing. But then to not have the other things to where you can categorize yourself, if we had to be 150,000, if you go and you say, okay, 70,000 or 60,000, person still working, still making money, is that good enough for you? Oh no, because I'm making 125 or whatever the case may be. I'm making 150, so he needs to make 150. Then that's where you most likely probably won't end up, because it's the categories are too small. Like it's not enough people that you're able to access. But if you're able to drop your number down to where it's like, oh, it's a good guy, still got a good job or whatever, or a decent career. It may not be 150, but it's 60, 70 or whatever the case may be. Then that's something now, because now I'm making more than him. Then now is that a problem?
You tell me.
Boom. Then it becomes a problem. Right. Women have made it a problem, right?
It becomes a problem.
Then it becomes a problem. Then that's when she finds out she gonna end up alone. You see what I'm saying? That's the circle. That's the circle of the mess that you're.
Some men can't take it. Some men can't take it too. The fact that, especially if you're a real provider,
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, they don't want you to work. They don't want you to do those things. Yeah, take it from me, So, and they're gonna take care of you. When they tell your daddy they got you. They got you. And that's why I'm saying you have to have yourself. There are levels. Always keep yourself up, because you never know. As a woman, be taken care of. Do all those things. Be a princess. But if I need, I'm like that. But when I need to push go, I'm ready.
Let's go.
With the degrees, with everything. And that's what I'm saying about my sisters, 45 and up. They're ready. They're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
I just don't want to scare them. I don't want to scare them. In the dating
game, ready to go to the show. They ready to go to the show.
Whatever. I don't want to scare my sisters.
No. I'm saying the expectations can't be to that level. I'm saying there's opportunity. Yes, is that. The opportunity, just like the young lady stated, it may not come in the package that you're wanting or that you're accustomed to. That's the problem. You have to look at a different package. If the package may be different, and you are looking at it from what are you really seeking? Are you seeking love, affection, long term? Are you truly seeking that, or are you looking to have someone that's going to finance that?
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. So if you're looking for what are you in your heart truly looking for? If you're looking for that, then there's things out there for you. But if you need the latter, then there's a lot less opportunities that's there for you. That's the only problem. That there's just less people that's in that space. And that's just the reality of it. It's like, okay, and we say, okay, we're gonna go get something, just something easy, something to eat. Like we're gonna go get a quick fast food meal, right? It's a plethora of them, right? Whole bunch of them around the corner, down the street. But then if we say a 5-star restaurant, we only gonna eat at a 5-star restaurant. How many of them are there?
Not a lot.
Now we've limited ourselves greatly because
now
in the category in which I'm only able to go and get something to eat at.
Now I'm back to what I was saying. There's a lot of 5-star restaurants in bigger cities. There's a lot more in bigger cities than smaller cities.
But it's not as many as a fast food, is what I'm saying. And those
it's never as many as fast food, because fast food is just what it is. It's fast, it's fun, it's easy. You eat it, you get sick a couple of days later, and you get fat, and negative things happen to you. You're inflamed. Maybe. So if we compare that to dating, it's a lot more fast food out there. But
I mean, the same thing you can get to a 5-star too. You can go to a 5-star, spend a lot of time, energy, and time trying to get in, right? And then find out that it ain't what you thought it was. That you get a little bit of this, and you get a little bit of that, and you get a little bit of this. And so the thing that you thought you were going to get a big portion of, you get a real little bit of. because it's not served in the larger portion in which your heart was desiring when you were able to get more from the other place. So you got to
But
kind of get, it's a checks and balance.
you're not supposed to eat large portions anyway.
Well, it depends on the person's heart and desire, right? What's on
In
your
one
heart?
sitting. In one
What's on
sitting.
your heart?
You're supposed to eat the smaller portions and chew 30 times.
Yeah, what you're
That's
supposed to do.
That's what keeps you healthy.
Now, Bobby said most Americans only make about $45,000 to $60,000 a year. Degrees or not, that is true, extremely true. Most people only make around that amount, and that's the reality that most people don't like. These conversations, I think, are bringing the reality to the table. It's like, well, no, how many of those guys did you even date, right? Like it's what spaces are you even are you meeting these guys, and those type of conversations come into to the forefront because it's not a reality.
Yeah.
It's not a reality. I don't know. It's kind of a different space that the average woman can look at and say, hey, you know what? I could probably do more over here. You know what? That last guy was nice, but I kind of passed on him because he didn't really, he only was making this, and that was the only thing that was about him. He was a hard worker. Then you had a guy that's the hard worker, right? But he don't have as much time. So then it's like, what balance are you wanting, right?
That's true. I was just about to say that providers aren't really available because they're out making that money.
They're out getting it. And so it's like, what?
Gotta
touch on that, T. Like, what it like? And that's the delusional part, right? They be like, everybody supposed to be this big time CEO that got all this time and energy,
right.
because they're a business owner or whatever. It's just this false reality of the availability part too, right? Like, okay, this person makes all this money, but then they're not available to you as much. Oh man, you wasn't available to me, and it seemed like it wasn't working out.
Yeah, that's why most CEOs and most of the men who make money like that are married or have a partner, because they actually take on being the CEO of the home. They take care of the children. That's why it's so important, especially when you're on those levels, who you marry. They make sure you're healthy. They cook, like we talked about this before. Everything that I cook is to make sure my family is healthy. They're the doctor. They take care of the home. They drive everybody to school. They make sure that the guy is doing okay. He just wakes up, goes to work. He has everything he needs. Does not have to think about anything because he has somebody thinking about it.
You need to do a class. I don't think women are learning these type of practices.
I don't think so either. I know so. I know they're not. They don't appreciate it.
Old school ways.
They don't want to know.
I think some of them do. I think the smart one. You know what? You know what? You know what's funny?
What?
Is that people will act like they don't want to know, because I think they be wanting to get the game and don't want nobody else to know the game, so then they can do it, and then they be one of a kind. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The most guys, they probably ain't gonna experience nothing like that. The same way, like I'll be showing my boys, like they always open doors, be polite, being respectful, things like that. Most women don't really get their doors open like that, especially from young. Like it was crazy even when I was growing up. Like guys didn't do that. I was doing that when I was in middle school, high school, like going to open up a door for a girl, and doing all those type of things, just being a gentleman. Just being a gentleman, right?
Yeah.
And so most young men aren't even being taught to be gentlemen, just being nice gentlemen. How to, how do you correlate it? And then having the young ladies having the expectation of a guy opening her door.
Right. And not thinking, oh, he's a simp. He's a,
right.
I don't like him. Those are your husbands. That guy
There we go.
is the guy that's gonna take care of you, gonna love you, gonna like you, you know, don't want to see you cry. They want the game. Yeah, they want it for free. I hope you watch the show. I hope anybody that wants the game, at least what I could give, please support the show. This is how I talk all the time. I
Come on and get that
love
game.
helping. I love helping my sisters. Not saying I even know everything. Sometimes I'm favorite dish to cook for your family. What's my favorite? My favorite dish to cook for the family is I make these fish tacos that are really delicious, veggie tacos.
Ooh,
But
fish
my
taco.
favorite is spaghetti. My daughter calls it Mom's world's famous spaghetti. She's been calling it that since she was a little girl. So
Oh,
that's
yeah?
my favorite.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
That's my favorite, but I had to make some changes to make it healthier. So now I use zucchini instead of using the
I think be using zucchini and stuff too.
spaghetti.
She be using that stuff
Yeah.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Trying to make it a little more healthier.
Make it a little healthier and
ladies,
stuff. Yeah.
ladies, this is how I talk. I talk freely like this all the time. I'm really trying to help the ladies. It's always been my thing. Ask my husband. He was like, "This show is perfect for you," because I don't want to hear this talk. I'm always like, "Well, what? I wonder, if she knew this, then this would happen." Anytime you want to ask me, just ask me. Not saying it's perfect, but I can show you how to live a princess life. And I have a master's degree, ladies, if you wanted to know. I'm not just sitting back. I do have a master's degree in marketing.
Come on, man. Let them know, T. Let them know that you spitting game out here.
What did he say?
He said he was that's you, Mama T spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was calling it Mama T spaghetti.
Mama T spaghetti. Now that's interesting. Write that down. No, but Patrick, thank you. I took some things in that you was spitting out. That's very interesting.
I was too. I think with most the dynamics of the back and forth of seeing where we at and how can we have a productive conversation on improving the especially the mentality part of the dating world, because even the guys, seeing like not being afraid to approach and things like that. Like I think that's a major thing, like with the whole Me Too movement and stuff. All of that is kind of out the game. T, I know you've been out the game a long time with the cat and mouse thing. It's like it's a dangerous game for these fellas. So even the ladies that could be approached, the average guy now has to think. Like you're already thinking about, oh man, she might shoot me down type thing, right? We always got to override that portion when we do the approach. Now it's like, yo, is she gonna put me in the harassment category, or you know what I mean? Like it's a whole like legal part. Like it ain't even just the shutdown part now anymore. Like the fear of being shut down was just one element. It was like, oh man, dang man, I'll go approach her, but she might shoot me down or whatever. And then you get up the courage. And then you go over there. Now it's like, man, she might call the cops because I didn't say something to her. You know what I mean? Like I didn't, oh man, you look good today. Would it be? Oh, he didn't say it. I look good. What didn't?
That's so odd to me. That's so odd to me how that's like stalking. I think that's just because she didn't like him. Because if you like a person and they say you look good, it's like, oh, well, thank you.
Right. But how he know you like him? You know what I mean? Like how he don't know until the approach, because most women have been taught, like, don't make yourself seem easy and, that whole type of thing, make a guy, make sure he approaches you. You don't seem like you too antsy or desperate, right? All of those things that you tell a young lady how to keep her decorum, that type of thing. Like, you don't look like you too happy, even if you like the guy, right? Like, you don't look like you too overly excited and stimulated because he came and talked to you and said something to you, and so she had to play that facade while the guy, he don't know what's going on in her mind. He's trying to do eye contact. She may give him a little something, but you don't know. You know,
I was just about to say that. Can I give you a little bit of? I'll give you a little game. If a woman likes you, if she finds like this your first time meeting somebody, if she finds you attractive in any kind of way, she cannot help but to look at you. It's psychology. She cannot help but to watch you. You know, it's not gonna be like a stalker because we're ladies. But if you kind of glance over, you're going to find the woman that you're watching you. When you do not look at her like a stalker. Like, just kind of glance, smile. If she smiles back, boom. Meet her wherever you are, meet her, come up and introduce yourself.
Right.
Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm such and such. I was at a comedy show, like the one we're going to tomorrow. I was at their first one, not first one, but the last one that they had. And I was standing at the bar, and a guy drinking water, and a guy came up to me and said, "Hi, I'm such and such." And he put his hand out. I took his hand, like, okay, shook his hand. He's like, "I'm such and such. It's nice to meet you. And I just wanted to know you look beautiful. Wanted you to know you look beautiful tonight." And he walked away. And I was just like, thank you. He was like, he disappeared. Like, I didn't even see him again. I was like, where'd that guy go? So I can ask him something about himself or something. And I was like, wow, that was very nice. It was nice. It was respectful because, I'm not available. But he wanted me to know.
But he approached it not knowing. He approached it not knowing if you were or not. So he
might have got closer
like a lady.
He approached me like a lady.
Yeah. So he probably couldn't see. Yeah. He probably couldn't see the angle or nothing like that.
Not in the dark. See, Okay. Okay, OG.
Now, Bobby said that you got to try to spit some game. Try to spit some game to the fellas. He said, tell the one that doesn't look the best in the group of ladies. So usually women are coming in packs and stuff, right? So if they're in this pack, a group 4 or 5, you find the ugliest one, okay, in the group, and you tell her she look nice. And Bobby is saying that it's a win-win situation.
Now, why? Why do you think so? I know what you're about to say.
Because she's gonna be all, because she probably don't get approached like the other women do, right?
Yeah.
She probably, so she's gonna feel a little giddy and stuff like that, and then they're gonna be looking at him like, oh, you approached her and not us. So now it's the competition thing. Yeah, that's how you
there we go. Game. That's what I was saying.
The game right there.
That is what I was.
The game, we're gonna slide on in.
We're bringing this thing back around to it. Exactly. That is going to make him more attractive. Men, I hope you are paying attention.
Yeah.
You have to get out there and make yourself known, make yourself seen.
Yeah, she's going to feel like she a 10 after that. She's going to feel like she a 10. She's winning.
She's going to be a 10 after that.
Well, and then all of a sudden, boom, now you can go and approach the other ones.
Yeah.
Later on, be like, hey, you just getting to know everybody. Boom, you get to know the group, and then you got your target, the one you really was wanting. But now the friend's like, oh, you recognize me too. Maybe he got a friend,
Right. And you know what? That person that's not the 10 could be a 20 in personality. Could be a 20 in everything you need.
You could be missing out on your blessing, Bobby.
Man, you better talk to that one that's not a 10 and make that person a 10. Please.
Listen, she don't feel like
anybody else.
You're gonna feel real good about it. You're gonna feel it in your soul, in your spirit. That sometimes the one that don't be looking the best, be the ones. Be the ones that take care of you real good. They're gonna be the one that can cook.
Yep.
One that can cook.
Clean.
One that's gonna be respectful. One that's gonna respect themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. The one that's caring, usually the one that's like that, they the one that's like, they're almost like the mother of the group.
Right.
They're the one that be looking out for everybody, making sure everybody, that they ain't some dude ain't running off with them, ain't slipped them no Mickey, all that type of stuff. So that girl kind of be the one that's the homemaker. That she's probably more likely gonna be a homemaker. The rest of them, you're gonna have to eat fast food every day.
Take them out to dinner.
Yeah, because you don't know how to
Wine
cook.
and dine on them.
Nothing. Out
Waste
here
your money.
burning hot dogs.
Wasting your money. Take me to the grocery store. We could eat for a week.
Don't know even boil water. That'd be the thing right there. Don't even know how to boil water. That'd be sad. But
burning eggs.
everything sticking to the skillet. You don't even know how to cook eggs properly. And eggs is expensive.
Yeah.
You don't know how to cook eggs. Come
when
on
did
now.
that
You gotta know
happen?
how to cook eggs.
I wonder when that happened. I wonder when that happened. Because I used to watch my mother cook. When did we stop watching when did our mother stop cooking? Because that's the thing. Or when did we get put out the kitchen? Like I missed that part. That whole there has to be like a group of women who purposely didn't teach their girls how to cook. Like that was something you had to know. Well, I had to know it but I was a latchkey kid, so I kind of took care of my sister, my younger sister, and my nieces. So I had to make sure
it was the crack epidemic era.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a portion of that, like portion of that, just like mom, that generation where it was grandma that was doing a lot of this stuff, and mama wasn't. You know, mama wasn't the one that was doing it. So she really didn't see mama doing it. So then she ain't do it.
Right. Because grandma was like, get out the kitchen, go watch TV somewhere with your cousins.
Yeah, go on somewhere. You know, you was too little at that time.
Yeah.
And then about the time you start getting back into some of the people getting their kids back, you know, and they just wasn't cooking like that. They wasn't teaching nobody how to do nothing. And then you had another group that was like, they were just trying to do everything different from what they mama and them did. They wasn't trying to do nothing like that. They wasn't trying to discipline no kids. They wasn't trying to cook and clean properly. It was just, you know, that was during that whole era when guys wasn't involved with their kids, when you had Section 8 people getting put out and guys wasn't able to get jobs, guys was feeling less than men. So it was so many layers, I think, over the years that just kind of broke down what we used to take pride in. Right? Right, we take pride when we left the house looking good. Now we out here in bonnets and stuff, brothers in do-rags and bonnets and carrying on. So we ain't taking care of ourselves. And far as what we believe in the view of how we view ourselves when we want to be out in public. There were certain ways you're supposed to present yourself when you went out in public. Now it seems like the public is your bedroom and your living room. People come out in all types of stuff, pajama pants and all types of stuff.
But they get fancy. They get fancy for the internet. I think the public now is the internet. Everybody's doing everything for likes. You get more dressed up for likes. Dressed up for
a couple pictures.
We talked about that a few months ago. Somebody, one of the guests said that they had a girl who was frumpy in person, but was on their page getting basically naked for likes and dressed up for likes. So that's what's going on now. As long as he can cook, it's all good. And
now you got to get some more context to that, Maria. Now,
her husband is a cook. A lot of my recipes I actually learned from my husband's mother. She's a very good cook, and he cooks as well. He makes really good breakfast.
Okay, that's good. Now, Bobby said a lot of people learn how to cook from their grandmother back in the day. Grandmother are younger now. Yeah, them grandmas these days, they don't know how to cook. Them grandmas don't know how to cook. Yeah. They putting raisins in potato salad now. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They don't. Yeah, they don't.
He said, they don't do that.
He said Uber Eats and society living on the go is the reason people don't know how to cook. Yeah, on the go meals and all that type of stuff. Listen, it's getting way too expensive out here to not know how to cook. Like, you got to know how to cook something, or you man, listen, You got to know.
And you need to know how to cook for you. It's not about cooking for somebody else, cooking for a man.
Yeah.
It's about you need to cook for you. For health reasons. There's so much sodium in all of this fast food. It's ridiculous. It's unhealthy.
Extremely.
It's you can control your own portions.
Extremely unhealthy. So you gotta kind of watch that. And be mindful. Be mindful, good people. Just be mindful of that. It's a space and a place and a time for every single thing. But we have to get back to some of these roots, man. That just actually learning how to just cook, learning how to clean properly, learning how to be protectors, being providers, being gentlemen. And I'm saying gentlemen in a broad sense, not just to your lady, not just to your daughter, but just in society. Being good people, being kind to folks, being able to, it's okay for you to open the door for a lady that you going into a store, or you going into, you're walking into a building of some sort. It's okay to hold the door. You see a lady coming, I'll tell my boy, hey, so you see, keep holding the door. Just to be aware, keen and being aware, like, and talking to them like, hey, you gotta always be aware of your surroundings. It's okay for the woman to be kind of loopy. She should be able to be danger and distress, but you gotta always be on the P's and Q's. Like, even when you're going in somewhere, you always got the angles of the doors. You look and you're always paying attention. When you're going to sit down to eat, you have the angle of the door and being able to see everything. So that you're like, these are small principles that, talking to my boys and even talking to some of the young men that we mentor, like, just showing them some of these just small tools, man, like that most guys don't have conversations about. How do I present myself as a man if I've never talked to a man, if a man hasn't been present in my life, if a man, if I have an absent father, and absent uncles and stuff like that, if I don't really have anybody giving me game on what manhood looks like, then I'm going to be a grown woman at some point.
Yeah, because
you have masculine traits, but you're still moving in an emotional way like a woman. So it's something to be had with that portion of not just putting the whole kid and caboodle on cooking and cleaning and women learning that stuff, but men have to learn how to be masculine in their space. Like, we want women to be that. We want them to be feminine and nice and kind. Like, what element are we showing these young men? Like, this is how you be a gentleman. This is how you treat ladies. Even walking down the street. Like, our teacher be walking. She loves going for walks and stuff. And like, just there's always a transition when we're walking. Like, there's a bunch of transition that happens. Like, if we're crossing the street, she got to be on a certain side, and I have to get back on the other side because if it's a car that's driving crazy, I got to be the first one to get hit, and I got to be able to push her out the way.
Yeah, she should be on the inside at all times. A woman should be on the inside on the sidewalk.
Got to be. And then when you're crossing the street, like you're crossing through a busy street, right? The cars that are coming on one side, you have to be on the other side, and then the car will be coming on the other side, so you got to switch to the other side. Because if you're in like a 4-lane type of situation, so you have to be aware, like you're doing that switcheroo, and she's moving to you, and she learned, like, it'd be funny because now she's like, we've been together so long now that it's just a natural movement that she does. Like, I'll just grab her waist and she just boom, and we'd be talking, it just be like we almost like we dancing.
It's a tango, the gentleman tango. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Bobby said my mom used to make us open the doors when we were kids. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's a huge lesson for young men to learn. Like, you got to know how to just move and allow a woman to feel like a woman.
Right.
Allow a woman to. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate it. She said, "That's right, Patrick. Hey, man, listen.
Now that's true. Learn how to change the tire and the oil in the vehicles, and that's for you, right?
Shoot, the way they making these cars now, you ain't gonna be change nothing.
And get the tire off.
You ain't gonna make it tire out these new cars, boy. That used to be a thing. That used to be a masculine thing, being able to change a tire, being able to change your own oil. Man, you been a broke the car trying to change the oil in some of these newer cars.
Yeah, now that's true.
They almost making it impossible to work on your own vehicles, man.
They want to make that money.
All
the money. You got to go right to the shop.
Now, Bobby said, "Man, learn how to cook. Women love it." Oh yeah, that'll melt a woman's heart. I'm not the greatest cook in the world. I am not. I will admit that 100%. But then when I make my little dishes and stuff, she's extremely appreciative.
It's delicious.
And
good.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine a man inviting you over, ladies, and they say, I'm gonna cook you dinner tonight. You don't have to worry about anything. We're staying in.
I wonder how many ladies have gotten that type of question, too.
Right? And it's just dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
No pressure, nothing else. I just want to have
the actual Netflix and chill is a part of, like, you done made dinner with the Netflix and chill. You know what I mean?
Come on. Wow. That's special.
Pull up is like,
that's special.
Got you. You know what I mean? I got the meal ready for you. Right. You know what I mean? Boom. Hey, fellas, take that game right there.
That's game.
Something you might want to tap into. Go ahead and do that. Something we're gonna go ahead and do. But we appreciate y'all tuning in one more time, hanging out with us, having these great conversations. It's always fun. It's always fun. And make sure you're getting those comments. And we want your feedback on the conversation. Now, I'm gonna put this last one up here now. Marie said that man should at least know how to grill. She said at least know how to grill.
Man, when I used to eat chicken, I used to love some grilled chicken hot off the grill. Man.
You like yours a little burnt, or you want it smoked, just smoked?
I like my smoked.
Okay.
I like
some people like that burnt. They like that little burnt on that little crispy burnt.
Yeah, well, that's how you know they love what they're doing. They gotta, like you push it down a little bit. Yeah, you get that on it, then a little smoky. Then you pour the barbecue. Oh,
it'd be yummy.
Mm-mm-mm.
But again, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Let's tell them how they can get a hold of you, T.
You can contact me at t.franklin@yahoo.com. It has been a pleasure once again, and I can't wait to see you again soon.
Again, listen, y'all been tuning in. Y'all been hitting it up. OG Bobby Johnson won 2 free tickets to the comedy show tomorrow night at Speak Easy. Going to be a great comedy show that we're going to be at tomorrow. We're going to be out there with my boy Clyde, T-Mac Productions, having a good time. Great laugh. Come hang out with us. Somebody else is going to be winning some tickets as well. So you're going to be knowing who that is in the morning. I'll be tagging you in the morning. Those that have been in the chat, in the comments. So if you're coming on, say hello. You will have the opportunity to win some tickets to the comedy show tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow night it could be you. Make sure that you stay tuned in to the show. Hit me up, PJ Game Changer on Instagram, Facebook, and make sure you have the Game Changer Show on all platforms, especially on YouTube. Make sure you hit us up on YouTube, man. Listen, this has been another fabulous night with y'all. Love y'all. Man. We out.